All right. Okay. Here we are. Finally on the air. Sorry we're a little bit late, but as we all know, we are in present time, so whatever, I guess something's late or early or whatever. If you're riding the wave of present time with all of us, which you really all are, maybe you don't know it yet, just breathe and relax, because it's only going to get wilder. And when I say it's only going to get wilder, it's going to get more and more and more active. So, many of us, even though we thought we were awake, are coming out of a coma. You're going to realize that for a long time you've been in a level where you've kept yourself contained. And it's been a safe space, you thought, but it's probably not so safe. So this is the paradox of the day. Many of the things that you have going on around you, the things that you've put in place, the structures, the type of work, the type of people, where you live, things you thought you believed in, the way different patterns that you've lived in, even genetically for a long time, genetic memory, past life memory, all this kind of thing. What's happening right now, especially in this last 2-3 months, and especially the last 2-3 weeks, and now this last 2 or 3 days, is that you're awakening up out of a deep, deep sleep. And I liken it, I feel like we're like giants, because we've grown in our energy. We're already big, big energies, and we're waking up and realizing that we're bursting out of this tiny, tiny confined spaces that we've kept ourselves in. And it's going to be uncomfortable at first. It's like Gulliver's Travels. When the big guy realizes the little people have them all chained down, and then he's going, "Ooh, wait a minute, where am I? I'm really big, they're really little, but they've got me tied down." The little things around you are the things you've put in place that you thought you needed, that you thought were keeping you safe. You're going to feel like you're a prisoner now. That's why so many people are activated and angry and frustrated, and so one by one you're going to feel yourself kind of lifting your arm up, and then those little restraints are going to go away, and then you're going to feel things moving around your whole body, because there's a healing going on into every cell of your being right now. So again, how do we heal? The light has to go into the darkness. The light has to go into hidden places. The light is illuminating things that you may have hidden, and it may not be conscious things. It may not be that you're trying to be secretive, or you're trying to lead any kind of a double life, or there's some kind of strange thing going on. You're going to find more and more as the layers and layers and layers are peeling away, and you're awakening to the reality of really who you are as this huge, beautiful being of light. You're going to keep expanding. And the only thing that's kept us back from really coming into this huge, huge energy field that we are has been fear. So again, over the last few months, what have we been working on? Healing fear. Whatever is your worst fear, you've had to face it. Whatever your darkest things, you've had to look at it. It's like no matter what, it's almost like you're in a journey within your own body, within your own mental, spiritual, physical, emotional realm. You're being forced to go into every little part of yourself and look and see what's in there. Because the only way we can actualize the full being that we are is if we are totally present, totally conscious. So it's a very real thing. If you've been feeling extremely, extremely uncomfortable in your life right now, it's probably a good thing, even though it may not feel good. We've kept ourselves restrained, and even those of us that do spiritual work, that work on ourselves every day, that I've had so many aha moments in the last few weeks, days, minutes, that it's not even funny. Allow yourself the time to relax, to breathe, to work through things. And when you hit certain things, you're going to feel angry, or when you hit other things, you're going to be happy, or you're going to start to have more and more of a authentic life that unfolds. So where you feel blocked, where you feel frustrated, where you feel activated, that's what you want to pay attention to. But you don't want to stay trapped in that activation. You don't want to stay stuck in that frustration. So if you're feeling the frustration, just don't scream at people, but get in your car, yell or scream, go in somewhere where, just, it's important to move. I would highly suggest putting music on and dancing, singing, anything creative. You want to get the stagnant energy out of your body, mind, and spirit, because we've all become sedentary. Even if we do physical things, I'm sure a lot of you are noticing, a lot of people I know, they're very athletic, they do things, but they go, well, yeah, well, I spin 3 times a week. I'm going, okay, really? That's great. But what else do you do? Well, I run. Okay. I think we have this concept, I'm going to wake up and I'm on a schedule. I'm going to spin, then I'm going to walk, or then I'm going to run, or then I'm going to, it's all this Western way of thinking and being of, we're going to do something at a set time. We're going to eat now. We're going to go to work. We're going to go to sleep. You want to break through all that and get out of a routine about your physical. If you're sitting down, move your ankles, do all the things that they show for old people in the nursing home. I love those. do those little movements, But you want to get unstuck. You want to get out of the mindset that I'm awake, I'm asleep, this is bad, this is good, I'm going to go here now, I'm going to do this now. That's the mindset, that's the lower mind that has been keeping you trapped. And at first it might feel scary, because when we're used to routines, we're used to, somehow it makes some people feel safe to have something telling them what to do, or something where there's a structure. If that's not working for you anymore, you're going to know it. A lot of people are telling me, you know what, I don't really like doing what I was doing exercise-wise, or I don't like any kind of the routines I'm in. Pay attention to that. You may want to just bolt out of what you're doing. It's like all the YouTube things of people, quitting their jobs and doing all the happy day. I love that one. I love the people responding back in her office. That was hilarious. They all read a video, kind of like saying, good, we're glad you're gone. Oh, kind of thing. So we're in this very interesting time of people feeling free enough to be themselves, free enough to let things go. There's a series of things coming up right now. I will tell you, between now and October 11th feels extremely important, and again, because we're not really in linear time, let's just say in the present time of now, you want to be mindful, you want to be focused, you want to be open and focused. It's all going to sound like a paradox. So you're saying, well, what are we going to focus on? You want to focus on anything that's in your life, because anything that's happening for you right now is not random. There's nothing, I'll guarantee you, there's not anything that is in your vibration right now that is of a random nature. It's all there for a reason. It's all happening. People come in, they go, well, I'm trying to find my path. Well, I got news for you. You are full tilt boogie on your path. There's no looking for it. You are living your path. So if you don't like the yellow brick road that you're on, get off of it. or look at it and go, I have free will. This is my creation. How can I change where I have found myself? Don't wait for the hurricane, don't wait for the tornado like Dorothy to pick you up and put you into the land of Oz. You want to become your own person that makes the changes. And that's one of the most epic archetypical stories of the search for body, mind, and spirit. That's what the Tin Man and all the things looking for the parts of yourself. If you look at the Wizard of Oz, it's a story of wholeness, but finding it through, how do you find your courage? How do you find your heart? How do you find the different parts? And then realizing that a lot of the search for what we think was God is a little person behind this big curtain that's not really about God at all. It's not really about that all the time. You are always home, because this is your home. Your body is your body temple. You really don't have to leave home to find these things we're all looking for. That's really the higher meaning of The Wizard of Oz. And it's such a brilliant movie, because now you have the good witch, the bad witch, so this, and you have the flying monkeys. But if you really dissect the whole story, it's really about you facing your own fears, your archetypical journey on Earth to find the parts of yourself that you need to find. Because so many of us, we get very off. Some people are very mental, some people are very spiritual, some people are very emotional. We're living in a time where we have to find balance. There's only one big body of God, one big body of spirit that we all are sprang from. And yes, some people sprang from forever, maybe a more creative part or a mental part or a specific role or archetype that you have within your own genetic makeup. What I'm seeing happening right now is that people are being forced out of their comfort zone of whatever their expertise was. They're being forced into trying other things, or being forced to develop other parts of their being. Don't resist that. If you find that resistance coming, push through it, because I guarantee you any challenge, anything that you're coming up against that you go, ooh, I really feel uncomfortable now, that's where you want to push through. Because once you're pushing through it, you're done. I'm finding more and more and more that I absolutely have a zero filter. Whatever I'm thinking, whatever I'm saying, what I'm feeling, it is just, I'm in the moment with it and I'm saying it. And I'm finding out when I don't do that, it is immediately a very sickening, uncomfortable effect on my physical body. We all have circumstances daily where we walk away and think, I wish I would have done this, I wish I would have said that, I wish. You're going to find that it's going to be easier, that when that outside world, which is just a reflection of yourself and of your patterns and of the group energy, is right up in your face, that if you immediately speak your truth, you're going to save so much time and energy. You won't have to be there again. It won't be something that comes back around the next day. If you don't want to do something, say something right away instead of procrastinating. If somebody wants you to do something or go somewhere, if you're not feeling that, politely say no. And you're going to find that if you don't do that, it's like the old story, what a tangled web we weave. And it's not that you're trying to deceive people, but it's going to be harder and harder for you to deceive yourself. Because you'll feel right away if you're putting yourself in a zone that is not authentic. And how do we know what's authentic? Your body tells you. Your whole being will tell you if something is right, if something is wrong, if it's not copacetic. So, again, we are like live wires right now. We are like live nerve endings. And everything that we're perceiving, we're picking up on it way ahead, what will seem like it's ahead of time. So you're going to start to have more and more where you have your own moments where you're thinking about something, somebody, or you're worrying about something, and sure enough you'll get verification in a very short time that, yes, this person, you'll get immediate verification that you shouldn't have done this, or you should do this, or this person will call you. There's no longer like a delay with connecting with things around you. And so again, this can be disconcerting at first. It's kind of scary. People are calling me up and going, oh my God, I don't know what to do, but everything I'm thinking and feeling, and then it's just there, and am I making this happen? No. it's the old story, what's the difference between karma and free will? Well, with our free will, we've created our karma. With the decisions we've made, that we get into these reactive places. So basically what's happening, the wheel of karma has stopped. We're all being forced to not learn through those cyclical lessons, and more, there's just a total present time that's here that will not go away. So it's like when you open the door every day and the same things are there, just deal with it. Then you'll open the door and the things that you thought were so overwhelming or that you wanted to put off or procrastinate about, you'll find how easy it is just to be present. We put so much energy into avoidance and procrastination. We all do it. And then when you finally make yourself do it, you go, what was so hard about that? Why did I put so much energy into avoidance? And again, the avoidance is fear-based. It's almost 100%. It's not laziness. It's not that you're doing it wrong. It's that hesitation of being totally in your life, in your present time. So let's start with a little meditation tonight, because it's been a very wild and woolly few days here. And whether you've meditated, never meditated, all you need to do is just relax, be open. What we do here, what we're doing wherever you are in the world, we're creating a safe space. I want you to be aware right this moment how no matter what is being reflected in the outer world, you know, the government shut down, blah, blah, blah. That could be a good thing. That could be a really good thing. You know, all the catchwords of the day that, you know, we're all going through, it's all fear tactics. It's all control. Control and fear are the same thing. So don't buy into what you're seeing on TV and hearing about the government. They're not going to shut down the government. They're not going to do this or that. It's fear-based. So let go of that drama. That's what you want to notice. What still gets my attention through drama? What still pushes my buttons in a way that I get so riled up that I am not doing what I should be doing or need to be doing in my life? So again, we're in present time. We're safe. The planet's safe. You're safe. You are alive. You're well. You're in your radiant, beautiful light body. You are a huge being of light. And I want you to feel how actually huge your energy field is. It's a great mystery of life. We've convinced ourselves that we are just this physical shell. This is our body temple for our spirit. We are huge, huge, huge radiant beings of light. We have huge auras, if you want to call it the aura, that goes out 20, 30, 40, 50 feet. So again, a lot of the what you might think is hypersensitivity that you've been feeling as you're being forced to feel things, it's all part of your radar. It's part of the bigger part of your being. So again, I want you to feel the magnetic pull of the Divine Mother. Feel how safe it is to be on the Mother Earth. How alive, how well the Earth is. You're not living on a dying planet or in a dying universe. We are living in a vibrant cosmos. And within your own body, because your body is a microcosm of the bigger picture, I want you just to feel safe. That's how we heal, when we can finally let go of the lower mind that's going, but you have this bill due next week, or you might lose your job, or this person's acting differently that I've been involved with. Let go of all that. It's a very important time to surrender to non-attachment. What causes all suffering is negative and positive attachment. So I want you to center tonight on feeling safe, knowing that you are alive, you're well, and you're coming to life. You're opening to a vibrant, new energy force that already was inside of you, but it's going to get more and more activated. So on the bottoms of our feet are thousands of wheels of light, chakras, energy centers that put you deep, 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 deep down into the center of the earth. Again, we are walking trees. I want you to really get this concept. You are the tree of life. You are connected with the earth, with the heavens. That's the paradox. We are spiritual beings in a physical body, experiencing both things on the earth at this time. You are a unique being of light. So if you've been having any kind of leg or knee problems or achiness, or if your feet hurt, there's lots of poisons being pulled out of your body right now. The reason that people's feet don't smell so good is because that's the last stop for poisons that are being pulled out of the body. So I want you just to kind of visualize this amazing light energy, and it's burning through all the dross. It's just this, it's an incredible warm energy that's just pouring down through every cell of your body. It's pushing down, it's taking poisons, toxins, negative energy from all the levels. It's pulling it out of every cell, and we're just going to let it go down through the legs, down through the feet, and drain out into the earth. Again, the earth is alive and well. The earth is very capable of transmuting this energy. I want you to kind of feel the fatigue of your life, the tiredness, the heaviness, the battles that you've been through. I want you just to take off your armor, lay down your weapons, take off the stuff that you usually have in front of you to keep the things you thought were keeping you safe by putting armoring on. Emotional armoring is very, very dangerous right now. You want to take off that armor that says I can't trust people. I have to defend myself. I have to guard. I have to keep things tight. That's not your answer. So many people are coming in and saying, wow, I really got the lesson. I just can't trust anyone. That's not your lesson. The lesson is you need to trust you. And you will have a discernment that comes in about who to trust and who not to trust, but it won't be based on you doing that with a closed down heart. Because when we are closed down, or when we have fears or doubts or mixed feelings about something, we will pull that out of people. We will manifest in the outer world those kind of things. So I want you just to let go of the fear. Oh no, the cat's letting go in the litter box. Sounds you're hearing over there. It's always good at this place. I love live things. Sorry about that. Hopefully the cat's peeing. Oh God. I guess we'll find out in a minute. That's why I love doing live stuff. This is great. I was out here digging. Animals are so tuned into natural things. So we're going to let go over there. So again, just let all this stuff melt down to the earth. I want you just to feel the heaviness go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Many times I feel this heaviness on my shoulders, on my neck, like carrying around the weight of the world. I want you to just kind of visualize that there's a heavy wool cape and it's wet and you're dragging it around with you. Just unloosen it, let it fall. Just again, feel that heavy, heavy energy that's gathered around the shoulders, the neck, the back. You probably feel it in your chest too. There's just heavy, heavy energy. Take off that heavy cloak and let things go. Let it out. And as you're feeling this energy moving, in accordance with each person's free will and highest good, we ask the bodies to align mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally in the present time. You may have been feeling numbness or circulatory things going on. As we are opening to more energy, a lot of people are feeling tingling or feeling like maybe they have numbness. Let's open up that whole circulation, that circulatory system to expand, to let this energy move. Let the energy move through your body. And I want you to feel the beautiful energy, the nurturing energy. Everybody needs to be loved and nurtured right now. And we're all learning how to receive. So many people, it's much easier to give than to receive. We're in a time, again, of healing that duality. We're in a time of sending and receiving. When we send out, it's like through prayer, and when we meditate, that's when we receive. That's what being in a constant state of prayer and meditation is all about. So I want you just to feel this flowing of energy where there's no stopping or no ending. I'm Alpha, I'm Omega. There's only just this energy moving through your body. So feel from deep down in the center of the earth, this life-giving energy just being pulled up through your body into every cell, healing, soothing, fulfilling, going deep down into those places where you're feeling blocked, you're feeling not well. Again, the body is the last stop, so I want you just to feel and allow this beautiful, beautiful energy to move through your body. All of our eyes have been on the heavens with all the meteors and the fireballs and this fiery energy that's activated right now. And I want you to feel the top of your head opening up, the crown chakra. This is where our spiritual umbilical cord is. This is what connects us. We always hear about the 7 chakras. We actually have 8, 9, 10, 11. We have this plethora of chakra, of these energy centers that go up, 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 up. We are star-seeded from many places in the universe, and we are made of the stars. I want you to know, and just you may want to just use your imagination. Everybody has their own star energy that they've come from, that they're connected with. So I want you to feel this electrical energy of the Divine Father. I want you to feel this star connection. I want you to feel this, you're rooted deep, your roots go deep down into the center of the earth, and I want you to feel that, how grounded you are and safe you are to be rooted. And now I want you to feel this electrical charge of energy, and it's part of your own energy connecting you to the heavens, to a star, to this energy up here. As the crown chakra, and it's called the crown for a reason, and that's why babies are born with a soft spot. This is where, again, the spiritual umbilical cord is. When you go to sleep at night, or when you meditate, or when you do certain things, your spirit body, your astral body, travels out the silver cord and goes on journeys and goes on places. That's why sometimes you will have experiences where you are half awake, half asleep, and all of a sudden you feel like you've tripped or fallen, and you get jolted, or you maybe didn't get back aligned in your physical, and you'll wake up and you can't open your eyes, or you can't move your arms. It's because I call it a crash landing. You've made a crash landing back from your journey, and until you get everything aligned up, you feel frozen. That's what that is. So again, I want you to feel and know you are never separated from heaven, from earth, from the Divine Mother, Divine Father. There's only this wholeness, this oneness, and you are a living, breathing example of how the love of the Divine Mother, Divine Father, their union manifested us, manifested these worlds, these amazing things in the universe. But your body is a microcosm of all of that. So as you feel the energy moving, again, feel the safety of the earth, the safety of the heavens, feel the safety of trusting and surrendering to the light, to your highest good. We've all been given examples in the last little bit here of what we don't like, what we don't want, what we no longer want to repeat. Don't worry about that anymore. Let it go. Let it all go. Don't worry about what people are thinking about you, what people expect from you, what you should do, what you feel an obligation. If it's something that is toxic, if it's something that is not right, you got to let it go. So I want you to feel the energy as it's moving up through the feet, moving up through your legs. I want you to feel the energy moving up to this amazing taproot that we have. There's an amazing taproot that is the root chakra. It's the color black, and it connects you deep, deep down into the earth. And this root chakra is definitely connected with part of your own Kundalini energy. It's connected with, it's in the perineum part of the body, but it's also connected with the tailbone, that area. And I want you to know, again, there's this incredible root that puts you deep, deep, deep down into the earth. But there's mobility. You're planted, but you can move. There's movement. There's flexibility. You're constantly being able to pull up life force. And you're constantly being able to let go of the poisons. So as you're feeling this energy move up, I want you to go into this incredible red energy of the second chakra. And when you move into the second chakra, it's about sexuality, reproduction, co-creation, but it's where you create life in your own body. It's a creative center. The second chakra is extremely important right now. We ask all shame, guilt, fear associated with sexuality, with reproduction, with co-creation, with our true power. I want you to feel this energy in your body and let this red, life-giving energy go into every cell, every part of your being. Pull this red, it's like a life-giving blood infusion. Let it go into your body, mind, and spirit. We ask all negative umbilical cords that are keeping people trapped through guilt, shame, fear, molestation, abuse, judgment, fear of your own empowerment, of your own identity, of your own ability to co-create. We ask all that. Any negative umbilical cords that are trapped there, we ask them to be pulled out by the roots. We ask the Archangel Michael to sever those cords now, so you're free to be who you are, free to create life force. We ask all pictures of death to be turned into pictures of life, all pictures of fear, to be transmuted into pictures of unconditional love and truth. I want you to feel this energy because it's going to be moving. You may be feeling movement in the lower back through the adrenals. You may be feeling a life force moving up through your whole back. Just let the energy move up. Let it activate. Let it go into anywhere you have pain. This energy has the ability to really transmute pain or negative energy. So let it move. Let it really take over, giving this life force. Let the light, let the fiery energy, let this blood energy go and infuse every cell of your body, taking away the fatigue, the disease, the miasms, the parasites, burning through all the things that are not of the light. And I want you to feel that you may be feeling very warm again. There's a very hot energy again here tonight. You maybe feel tingling in your hands, tingling throughout your body, because there's a huge activation of healing that's going on. I want you to feel this energy moving up right below the belly button. There's a flame that's called the Buddhic flame or the Christ flame. So it's just like if you're going to turn on a gas stove. I want you to imagine turning this knob that's right below the belly button, and this incredible flame is emerging, and it's gold and it's purple and it's orange, and it's igniting your third chakra. It's igniting the central sun. It's just like you would turn on the gas stove, and all of a sudden that ring of fire is activated. I want you to feel safe, to have the furnace going. I want you to feel the power of the central sun. If our body is a microcosm, our belly button is the center. So I want you just to let all this incredible, just visualize what your sun looks like. Feel what that warmth and that activation of life. Let it burn through any of the stagnation. This is why, especially in the Western culture, people have so many indigestion problems, so many problems with this part of the body, because we stuff things, we stuff emotions, we push things down, or we have eating disorders. We eat too much, we don't eat enough, we are obsessed with, am I fat, am I skinny, how can I control, whatever. It's all fear-based emptiness. I want you to feel that this third chakra is not at all an empty space. It's a beautiful, beautiful, fiery part of you that is that fire in your belly that inspires you, that burns through the dross, that keeps you going, that gets you up, that gets you moving through all kinds of stuff. Just let that energy be bright. Feel yourself sitting. Buddha is contemplating his navel for a reason. I want you to visualize a little mini you sitting in your navel. I want you to feel safe to be in your body temple. And I want you just to visualize a little you sitting right there in that seat of power. This is where we store the negative and positive ego. It's safe to have power. It's safe to have your own empowerment from within. It's safe to be in touch with this life force, with this radiating energy. When the first three chakras are activated like this, it gives support to the upper chakras. So many people are very opened in the third eye, or very opened in the crown, or very opened in the heart. If you don't have the support of the first three chakras, you'll find that you can't sustain certain things. So we have to have this activation. Many people are struggling right now with their own identity. Apart from birth family, many people are going through struggles with mother, father, brother, sister, roles, genetics that we're born into, the archetype of mother, father. Within your own being, you have the ability to become your own mother, father, brother, sister, lover, savior, whatever archetype you're looking for in the outer world. You already have that archetype within you. So while we're in this physical umbilical cord area, in accordance with each person's free will and highest good, we ask the family of origin, the birth mother, birth father energy to come forward. Anything that's positive, anything that's good can stay. But if you're holding on to any negative beliefs, any negative programming, any discomfort, if you're being still bound through things that happened to you when you were a baby, a child, that were not good, that were negative, that where you didn't get nurturing, or that you had people that ignored you, didn't take care of you, whatever your issues are, or maybe you were too bonded, you're too dependent on family, too dependent on them and not feeling your own empowerment, whatever your issues are, you don't have to dwell on them mentally. We just, again, we ask for a gathering of any unhealthy umbilical cords that are binding us to relationships, to people, to family of origin, to birth mother, birth father. Again, anything positive, anything good can stay there, but if it's not of the light, again, we ask them to be pulled out by the roots. We don't want to just cut the cords, because it's just like when you cut a weed, it will come back. We want to rip out the deepest roots of anything that's still where you have attachment, or they have attachment, or there's anything that's unhealthy here in this part of the body. Again, we ask the Archangel Michael to sever all negative cords that are connecting you to sins of the fathers that go through 7 generations, genetic weaknesses of the body, mind, and spirit. Any unhealthy ways you're still bound with the concept of mother, father. Again, it's safe to become your own mother and father from within inside of yourself. It's safe to feel the connection with the divine mother, the divine father within inside of yourself. And as this energy is moving, it's burning up old connections, it's burning up childhood memories that are not good, it's burning up patterning that you have lived in, reactive ways you've kept yourself in some negativity. Let it go. It's safe to see family members. It's safe to see your mother, your father as a person, as a baby, as a child. It's safe to let go of the outer role. It's safe to let only the healthy connection for both of you there. As this energy is starting to move up, I want you to envision the most beautiful color of green moving through the whole heart, chest area. Imagine that beautiful emerald green, that beautiful color of grass, when it's just that beautiful green color, filling the heart, filling the chest, filling the lungs. Color of healing, embracing life, embracing this life force. Everyone has felt abandoned, betrayed, experienced unrequited love, experienced the pain of separation, the pain of feeling unloved, unwanted, unneeded. I want you to know it's a universal path that everyone has experienced these things, but I want you to know you don't want to perpetuate or hold on to those things. You want to let your heart open. The true heart of unconditional love and the true path of compassion has zero to do with what people are going to do or not do, say or not say, support you or not support you. Unconditional love for yourself and others has zero to do with the drama of conditional love. We have been so trained to value or devalue ourselves based on if a person loves us or doesn't love us or how they're treating us or all of these codependent things. I want you to feel that true sacred heart, that true open heart. Many people have been feeling chest pain. You're not having heart attacks. You're feeling the pain you've held into your heart. Your heart chakra is expanding. The most incredible energy just moved through your hearts. And again, it's this emerald green, but there's a beautiful pink, purple color of unconditional love combining with the green, and it's moving, healing, cleansing, taking away the layers and layers and layers of armoring. When you close down, when you stay in a victim state, when you choose to be addicted to the pain, it's not a good choice. It's what kills people. This opening and shutting of the heart chakra. When we connect with things, when we connect with people, we feel this amazing openness. Then all of a sudden, if we don't think we're getting anything back, or if it's disappointing, we immediately want to shut down. Nothing in the outer world is where you want to base your true, unconditional love for yourself. It's a very, very important factor right now. You want to know that you have the ability to become your own soulmate. And again, in accordance with each person's free will and highest good, we ask for that connection with the inner beloved, that connection with the inner soulmate. Feel that connection, feel that oneness. Know that the condition of your own heart and what you feel and believe and how you treat yourself is what you're going to attract back from others. I want you to feel that. The more whole you are from within, the more you know and feel unconditional love and acceptance for yourself. You will attract people who have also worked on themselves. You will attract situations that are matching pictures to wholeness. The more you close down or you choose to stay in conditional love, you'll keep finding people that have pieces of what you need. We find people we have what we call matching pictures with. And it's how it leads to codependence. And then when one person starts to grow or change, the fear sets in because wait a minute, that's something I think I needed or wanted and it's not there. Now you have the capability within your own being to be whole. There's a lot of anger, a lot of sadness, a lot of disappointment. Everybody's being forced in present time to visit the fragmented pieces of your life, of relationships, of loves that have come and gone, or people and things that have been significant. Let anything that was good, let those pieces come in, but anything that's toxic, anything that's still binding you in a way that's keeping you bitter, angry, mad, feeling victimized, it's robbing you of your joy, let it go. It's time to forgive yourself. It's time to forgive others. The lessons that many of the relationships brought you, you'll start to understand in a higher way. So again, if there's something in your heart that's keeping you from attracting wholeness within yourself, that's keeping you from actualizing unconditional love for yourself and for others, let that stuff go. There's a lot of I feel there's a lot of energy here right now that where you still are feeling, oh, I'll never feel this way again, I'll never find another person like this, or I'll whatever. Every person that's in our life or has been in our life brings a different type of love and experience. The lower brain will always want to, when we're disappointed, to only think of the negative of a person and destroy so we can cut with things. So there's a lot of memory and a lot of feelings that people have been experiencing about relationships. Again, whatever you're going through, it's a tip of the iceberg. It's deep stuff that's very important for you right now to open to receive, to bring into this level. Any bitterness, let it go, because if you hold on to false hope, if you hold on to guilt, if you hold on to anger that somebody couldn't do this for you or be this for you, or if you're putting energy anywhere into situations that are destructive, toxic, let all those cords come forward to be removed, pulled out by the roots. And again, we ask the Archangel Michael to sever all that codependence, all that conditional love. It's time to free yourself from the past, free yourself from places that you've gotten trapped. We can be many ages emotionally, and so many times in our life we get trapped in experiences, we get trapped in places that we're stuck. Bring all those parts of yourself into now. Many people live a fantasy life in their head about love and relationships. Many people don't even enter into the world of relationship. This is very dangerous as well. Many people are very living lives that there is a lot of addiction to pornography or to other, just all kinds of ways that people are trying to be healed now of things that will keep you from having true connection with people, true connection with yourself, true connection with others. So again, any of the addictions, any of the aspects of this world that you might be living in where you find any way to not really connect with people, it's very dangerous, because we're living in a time of oneness, wholeness, and you will get less and less comfortable to escape into your mind or your ideas about relationships. It's very important to know that when you surrender to unconditional love, you will attract the right friends, you'll attract the right people, the right work situations. It's across the board. We're not just talking about one-on-one love relationship. The people we attract, the things we keep experiencing, again, very much a reflection of your own heart chakra. If you don't think you're worthy, if you have doubts about yourself, you will attract people that will criticize you. If you don't love yourself fully, you will find people that will reflect that back to you. Look deep, deep, deep into your being, into your heart, about your ideas about love, romance, relationship, friendships, all the area of all the relationships. Let go of the barriers. So, so, so important. Because when I look at everybody tonight, I see tons of the most beautiful, wonderful, loving, unconditional loving energy that's here, open to receive it. Let it pour into your heart, healing anywhere there's wounds. Let that love in. Let that love out. It's safe to send, it's safe to receive, it's safe to come into full activation of that divine, unconditional love for yourself, for others, where there's not a shutting down or an opening up. It's just this total surrender to keeping the heart open. It's safe to let go of drama. It's safe to let go of pain. It's safe to let go of victimization. It's safe to let go of codependent relationships. It's safe to find people who you can trust. It's safe to trust yourself. It's safe to come out of making excuses for yourself, for others. If you're in, many people are in relationships right now, and you're going to find if something is not working, it's not working. If it can be healed, it can be healed, but you are not going to hold yourself back anymore. You're going to keep moving, growing. It doesn't mean that something is wrong. What's going to be wrong is if you're finding yourself making excuses for staying in poisonous, toxic, dramatic, negative situations. You don't want to perpetuate that right now. Let it go. Let all of that energy go. Let all of this incredible love and energy into your heart. There's a beautiful sapphire blue energy moving up through the heart, from the heart through the throat. It's like an electric blue. And this has a lot to do, a lot of people are having throat issues or neck issues. It's safe to speak your truth. I want you to let this vibrant, electrical blue energy move up through the throat, through the gums, through the teeth, through the neck, through the ears. It's safe to express your feelings through spoken word. It's safe to speak your truth. I want you just to feel this energy that's so many of us, we've pushed things down and walked away and not said things. It's safe to say the truth in a loving way. Many times what happens is people build up anger, and then you lash out. Then you lash out at people, you lash out in anger, and your voice becomes a weapon. Your words become things you can't take back. You can take them back now. let that forgiveness come into the throat and into the words. But there's the most incredible power of the spoken word. Everything that we think, feel, say, and do goes out into a rate of vibration that's red, and it comes back to us. So again, let's clear that throat chakra. Speak. Let beautiful sing, speak. Let that voice, let your voice be heard. If you find yourself complaining or angry, let it go. Move it. Don't judge it. Then let positive energy come through what you're saying to others, what you're speaking about. You're going to feel less and less inclined to repeat gossip, to repeat drama. You're going to find yourself more and more stories that you used to tell people about your life. If you've worked through it, you won't even want to put energy into repeating it. It's not your story anymore. And again, you're empowering many of these stories that you might be repeating. They're going to become hollow because you're being healed. Let the energy move up into the third eye. It's the functioning of the pineal and pituitary gland. I want you just to feel this energy moving up. There are 2 pulse points in the forehead. Most beautiful, radiant, purple energy is filling your third eye. It's safe to see in a balanced way with the inner eye. Many people are having amazing spiritual psychic experiences, and it's a little overwhelming. So many people who are sensitive or empathic, but it's almost to the point where they don't know what to do with it. So we're going to ask for the gift of discernment about what you're hearing, feeling, seeing. Safe to hear with the inner ear, safe to feel empathically, safe to see with the inner eye, in a way that is true, in a way that is centered, in a way that the information comes through that is helpful for yourself and others. Let the information come through, but let it be filtered by that gift of Holy Spirit, of that discerning energy about what you're hearing, feeling, seeing, so you don't become paranoid, so you don't become euphanoid, so you don't get attached to visions and things you're seeing. You don't want to get sidetracked into the phenomena wasteland. It's so easy to go, oh my God, I'm having all this, and we get sidetracked again. Keep opening and going into higher connection. Don't get hung up on the different levels. There's many levels, and the higher you go to the true direct connection, keep going. I want you to feel again, probably the top of your head's probably itching. This is this crown chakra. It's another shade of purple. I want you to feel this electrical energy of the Divine Father being attracted to the magnetic energy of the Divine Mother, creating new life in your body, creating new opportunities, new doors, new things, bringing back your excitement for life, that love of life. There are many beings of light, many ancestors here tonight, many ancient parts of yourself that have been waiting for this moment to be acknowledged, to be integrated into your conscious mind. Let go of this illusion of separation. Let go of the blocks. The lower mind always has this perception that maybe you're not worthy. Or sometimes the ego will take over and tell you you know everything. We want authentic connection with Creator energy. Again, we ask for an activation of our divine free will, our divine blueprint. Embed it in every cell of our being. Is that part of ourself? Let that energy radiate throughout your own being. Leave the burdens behind, leave the heavy energy behind, feel this ascension energy. It's safe to no longer be trapped in the past. It's safe to be out of bondage, out of those places that you were captured in. You're not there anymore. Let it go. It's not safe. You want true safety, true, authentic experiences. So when you're ready to return to the consciousness of this room, you'll return feeling refreshed, renewed, balanced, with your heart open, on the path, on your path of actualizing unconditional love, of being authentic, being true to yourself, being true to others. And this process of healing, remembering, will continue into the dreams, into the night, and the days to come. If you're still feeling sensations in your body or in your legs, just let that energy move down. There's a real strong activation tonight because all of you have been doing a lot of good work to let go of things, to be removed from patterns. You've burned off a lot of your own dross. Just let it go. Let it move, let it go, let it shift. Yeah, everybody thirsty? It's like, whoa, there's only the water bottles, yeah. And it was, yeah, it's like, whoo. I kept feeling like this gathering of energy under us, lifting us up.
Great white brotherhood.
Oh yeah, you do, kitty boy. This is the Papa. He's in his fourth body. Many people here remember him in his last body when he was orange and white, and he went right over to Chris. Because Chris came here one day, well, it had to be what, in the 90s? I don't know, 2000, I don't even know when it was.
Maybe 93.
Yeah. And one day he had like Papa would, when he was in his other body, he would greet people. He would walk out to people's cars, and they'd be so shocked. He had this big orange and white car, orange and white cat, and he would lead them into the house. Like, he was like a dog, and it was like unbelievable. And so one day, Chris had, I think he got a new car, and you left the sunroof open, and he got in his car, and Papa was laying in the back
Sleeping.
He was just sleeping. He went on a ride around the block with the UPS guy a couple times. Yeah. And he didn't have any fear. He'd be just like, hey. He's really an amazing cat. Well, he was born at the Tibetan Culture Center, born in that area, and I had gotten him when he was probably a year or two old, and from a friend who they couldn't keep him inside anymore, and I rescued him, took him home, and then I had just gotten a little mama kitty. Well, they became, because Mama and Papa joined together, and they had two beautiful litters. And yeah, they had and I'm telling you, it's the same cat. This is the same, I've had him since the 70s. His first life, he was a long-haired orange cat. The second, with a little white. Second life, he was a long-haired white cat. Then he came back as a short-haired orange and white cat. And now he's back as a Russian blue. He's just like, he's always been a big cat. He's always been, that's the one common out, he's been huge. Always the same big kitty boy. Yes. It's so funny. He's happy. He's like, he sees lots of people he knows from other times here too. One of the best stories I have about him, this is I love this story because I'll try not to use bad words. Oh, why not? Let me use bad words. Yeah, why not use bad words? No. So early on in my work, I was in my 20s. I was still trying to learn how to deal with people, and I didn't have a Glenda working for me at that time, and so I was doing everything. And you probably remember from these days, I lived at the Drake. I lived back. Yeah. I've known Rick since the 70s.
75.
Oh my God, since 1975. Ugh. We were 5. No, we were babies. Yeah, you lived at the Buckingham. I lived at the Drake across the street. And this is by the Children's Museum down in Meridian. It's big. I lived up and down Meridian, the Meridian of Energy, coming up from the circle. Yeah, and when he was that first, he was just this huge cat. I mean, he would lay in this plant. It was hilarious. So one day, this woman comes in, and again, it's just, I'm going to have to tell the story ways because it's true. This woman, if she weighed about 300 pounds. I mean, I'm not talking about, hey, you need to go on a diet and lose 10 pounds or 50 pounds. I mean, we're talking big woman. And she had it right before this little French settee I had, and I thought, oh no, why? Why is this? It's interesting. That happens a lot. That people are there, I think, and again, I've talked about this before, and again, I don't want to offend people. I'm talking about people who are really obese. Many times they're very self-centered, they're very narcissistic, and because it's all about them. They just have this they manifest in this really large way, and they don't really see, I don't think, sometimes how large they are. And they always go for your little furniture, and it's like, what are you doing? It's like, so, this is when I was more like kind of timid. I was like, oh my God, please don't, I didn't even know what to say. Well, then I could hear the whole thing just kind of creaking, and I'm like, oh God. Okay, so I'm trying to do the reading, and everything I was saying to her, she was arguing, and I thought, oh man, this is like a nightmare. What am I going to do? So I was trying to be positive, and I was trying to do all this stuff. And all of a sudden, she was way past her time, and my next person was at the door, and I said, well, we're done. She goes, well, I'm not going to leave. Just like this, I'm not going to leave. So I look over, and I thought, ooh, that's really weird. I wonder why my cat's being so friendly. Papa, who's Papa now? Back then he was called Horse because he was so big. And I thought, why is he going over this woman? Well, because he was taking a very large dump on her shoe. and he looked at me like, you have never seen a person make this stuff up. I mean, she was gone. She was gone. So he's done some good work. That's one of my favorite stories because it's true. I mean, it was actually really so shocking that I could hardly believe it. I was like, did he really do that? Yeah. So that's when
Did she play before?
Oh yeah. Fortunately, she had, and I've never been with psychics that, I guess a lot of people say, don't you put the money? But fortunately, yes, she had already. Oh my Lord, she was gone. She was out the door.
How did you do the next reading? I couldn't take
it. I was laughing so hard. I was laughing.
Exercise that demon right on.
Yeah, exactly. And he would do, through his life, different lives, he's done many interesting things. And for some reason, in that particular place, I had so many unusual experiences with readings. I had a person come to me for a reading. I haven't thought about this story in a long, long time either. And it turned out to be I'll just say it, because, I mean, the Brett Kimberlin Speedway bomber, that's an old story.
I talked to him on the phone when he was at the telephone company.
Yeah, you worked at a telephone company. I used to get information, and I go, Rick, is that you? Because his voice is so distinctive. Back in the days, you get a real person for information. Yeah. You did?
They could only call collect from the jail, and I would get him who would help him.
Okay, well, this is pre-jail. Okay, so I'm doing this, I have no idea who he is, what he's doing. And the one thing I remember, he didn't sit down the whole reading, he paced. And he goes, do you see me in a confined space? I swear to God. And he was saying stuff like this, and I was like 20-some years old, and I'm like, what he's talking what he was like working toward there, you know? And all I can remember is saying, I know I said some things, so he started crying. You know, all I know that I can remember is that I reflected some things, and it's always been this way with my work. I'm very protected by, many times I don't know what I'm seeing exactly, especially if it's something that could be dangerous. And so it was an interesting experience, because he just paced and paced and paced, and then I find out later that's who he was. And that, yes, he was in a confined space after that, yeah. And it really changed it really affected me, because it was just one of those life, you just kind of go, wow, that was really interesting. Well, within 3 weeks, I had another really intense, and I look back now, and I know that one of the reasons that I was attracting things that are very, very early, even when I lived in New York City, and even when I was in college, when I was doing readings, the people that would come, they weren't it was not your normal, you know, am I going to get a job? Am I going to find a boyfriend or girlfriend? You know, they were intense stories. So I think within 3 weeks of that, I mean, this is another story that's been very present for me, and I'm trying to figure out a way to explain it when I'm going to be writing about it in this book I'm trying to get written. But I'll just share it now, because it's a little tidbit of life. So again, within probably about 3 weeks of that situation, a man comes in for a reading. And again, remember, you know, I'm on the fifth or sixth floor of the drag. I'm on the side that looks into what's now the Children's Museum, or the house that's next to the Children's Museum. And I'm working alone. I have no one really there with me, by myself. Man comes in, same thing, he starts pacing, and I thought, this can't be good. This was the bad sign before the guy was pacing. This is kind of man must have been in his 40s, 50s. And I could see right away he was extremely distraught and troubled. Well, I did not know what really to say, so I just started talking to him, and I go, there's this really pretty blonde woman here, and she wants you to know that, you know, she's forgiving you, and he stops, and he just looks at me, and I don't know what I'm seeing. That's one of, I guess, the protections of my work. I didn't have any kind of filter or any kind of thing that had a judgment or attachment to what I was seeing. So he sits down, and I just tell him a story. I've been trying to remember some of the nuances of it, because it was this incredible storyline. And so I'm telling him a story. It came through allegorically. I remember that part. And I could see his face change. I could see him relax, and I could see him process. And I went into some things I saw from his childhood, and I said, you know, some of the things that you've done in your life as an adult that you're very ashamed of and worried about now are because of things you saw in the violence and the different things. But again, I was not getting it, right? So I'm like describing. All of a sudden he stands up and he goes, okay, I did it. I confess. I murdered her. Had no clue that that's what I was describing for about 45 minutes. I sat there and I thought, oh my God, okay, this is Papa, where are you? How are we going to get this guy? Oh, it was the most chilling. And I'd already been through some interesting.
That you picked that up, it just kind of nonchalant.
Yeah, because mine's always been that way. Mine's always not been through my lower mind or ego. Just I get information and I convey it, and it usually comes out in different stories. And I just remember being terrified. And so thought very quickly, and I kept looking at him, and I thought, ooh, this is really interesting. What am I going to do? And I could tell. And then he goes, well, it was kind of the perfect crime. Nobody knows.
Oh.
Then I'm going, crap. This is really not good.
I do.
Nobody knows except for me. This is
And that's
great.
how I want to know.
This is not a good story at all. So I just sat there, and I felt this true energy come in through me, and I looked at him, and I don't ever lie, but I thought, I'm going to have to lie for once. And I said, I just want to tell you, anything that happens in here, I don't remember it. And I thought, I have to. Well, what in the heck am I going to say? And so I just kind of sat there, and I felt this kind of field of this force field come. Trust me, the force was with me. I felt this energy kind of come in, and I could hear my voice saying these things. And I said, you need to do what you need to do. I'm not judging you. You need to take responsibility, but I don't. This is, and get the hell out of my apartment. Get out of here now, you murderer. No, it was like, but what was interesting, again, remember, the woman had said, I forgive you. So that's a key, I think, component to the story. So when he left, I was shaking. I literally left town. I went to, my mother lived in Connersville at that time. I went to Connersville and hung out for a couple of weeks. I thought, there's no way. Why are you going to keep yourself, a young woman, and he's already killed a blonde woman. It's like, oh God, I hope I'm not activating this person. It was very, and I came back, and I will tell you, I didn't go back until I felt peaceful, and I went back, and I found out later, I think he turned himself in. It's a weird story, and I'm still trying, because it was such a shocking story to me at the time, that pieces of that story have been coming back. Because it's like anybody that does therapy with people, or there's things that people tell you that you're not supposed to tell the police. But it was an interesting exercise for me at such an early age of dealing with amazing across the board types of people, and so a lot of things from those days have been coming back. So what I would say, I think why I'm sharing some of these stories is that in all of our lives, you're going to have things that happen, especially now. I've always lived in this world. When I was born, and I'll be 65 November 5th, 1948, in Connersville, Indiana. It was really shocking to be born to that little town, because I thought I was going to land in New York, and from a very early age I was complaining about not being in New York. And I remember my birth, where I was before, and kinds of stuff. So I never fully came down. So what everybody's experiencing right now, I've kind of lived in that realm for a lot of lifetimes. But so even for me, because we're all experiencing it, it's really huge, big stuff going on right now. So as you're going through your life right now, and the storylines and the memories and the things that are going to be converging here, they're not random. They're not at all random. And you want to let whatever comes through, you want to follow the storyline. You want to go back to point of origin. And again, if you remember what came through in the man's reading, Spirit directed me to his childhood. It wasn't giving him an excuse, but it was tying in something that had happened to him when he was of a younger age. And so again, we only have, there's nothing new under the sun, and there's nothing that we've all experienced the same things. One of the biggest lies that the lower mind will always tell you is that nobody else can understand. Nobody else has gone through the things you're going through. We all have. Some people have gone through far worse things or far better things maybe, but there's our typical storylines in people's lives that we all experience. And that's what any story you read about all the great saints and masters, they all went through death, hell, and the grave. They all went through, they weren't perfect. It's not about being perfect. That's the biggest lie with religion. Nobody is perfect. And the biggest lie if we were created by the Divine Mother and Divine Father, we know that we were created, I always like to think of the Big Bang Theory, because it's really kind of true. It's like this big collision of this Divine Mother, Divine Father. We manifested as male, female. Obviously, that's the energy that's going on in the universe. But it wasn't perfect. And so what's happened, and we were given free will. So we were given choices. We were given a way to experience co-creation, experience use of our divine free will. And all sin, the word sin, if you look up sin, sin means missing the mark. That's all it means, missing the mark. But religion is turned into this sin, this guilt, shame, fear, this you're born in sin, and blah, blah, blah. And this really lie of original sin is the worst sin of all, or the worst lie of all, that's kept people captured. So you want to know that redemption is, we've all fallen short. We've all missed the mark. We've all gone through things that we're ashamed of. And I know a lot of people, because in my readings, and I've gone through my own stuff, where I've had these aha moments where I've gone, how in the world could I have done that? Why did I do this? Why did I do this to this person? Or why did I act this way? Or why was I... We've all had to face certain things, but you don't need to stay there and punish yourself. But you want to acknowledge it. But you don't want to beat yourself up. Because in the second that you do take responsibility for what you've done, or and sometimes what you didn't do, maybe you think you should have done, and you truly get it, it's done. It's healed. You will be given opportunity to live that experience in a fulfilled way where you do the right thing. Because it's just all one thing. You know, it's like Janis Joplin. Wake up and it's the same day, you know?
Groundhog Day.
Yep. All the great, all the things in song are true. It's just all here. So don't spend too much time in beating yourself up. Don't spend too much time in therapy, and I think that's what we're going to see. It's one of the reasons I dropped out of trying to do therapy in a very traditional way, because it was so negative and so archaic. Be your own physician, heal thyself. We can't worship doctors. We can't worship therapy. It's like I love that book, if you meet your guru in the road, kill them. It's like, I've always had the sense, the teacher as a student and the student as a teacher, I've always learned through people. And, people say, well, why do you really put some embarrassing stories about yourself, or you really talk about, which I think is really interesting. I don't find them embarrassing. That's their projection. I've actually had people, some of the things I share on Facebook, they go, why would you say that? And it doesn't bother me at all. I'm like, well, you're an idiot. Why would you do that? Why are you stupid? And I don't really have a problem saying that. It's like, because that's their own impression, because they're hiding. And we have nothing to hide. To me, how do you learn? How do I show other people we're all human and we're people? And I think I showed this a couple of oracles ago when I was a little kid. If I got an F, if I got a bad mark on a paper, which was frequently because I didn't learn in the way they wanted me to, so I didn't really care, I'd hang it on the refrigerator. And people would go, why do you have an F hanging on the refrigerator? I said, because I did it. I did it. Who cares? And I think that's what we all have to do right now, is stop judging yourself. Don't judge yourself. We're so easily embarrassed and caring about what something appears like or is going to look like. And it's how we keep ourselves trapped in jobs and relationships and stuff we don't want to be doing anymore. And you don't have time to do that. You do not have that time to do that. It's just not, it's not that way. And many of you may have read on Facebook where I wrote, I'm going to give you a very brief synopsis of it because it was the most powerful, life-altering I thought I'd been going through like really big wake-up calls. I had a very huge one Monday that was so phenomenal. If you're on Facebook, go back to my last post and read it, because I couldn't even get the words out because it was so overwhelming. And actually, I'm so glad you're here, because you knew Reverend Dudley.
Oh, that one.
That story, yeah, Bob Dudley, yeah, the story of and that's there's a plethora of stories around that individual. When I first moved here through really weird circumstances, in 74, the minute I came to town, a couple of the old spiritualist ministers had died, and I'm not a spiritualist, I'm not a member of the spiritualist church, but for some reason, I immediately connected and got readings, immediately connected with people who just gave me huge amounts of people to work with. Just was part of the karma of it, I guess. And so back in 76, it must have been 75, maybe 75, this Reverend Bob Dudley was my neighbor. At that point, I lived all, like I said, I lived all up and down Meridian, all over the place. And and he was elderly, he had kind of a wandering eye, I just remember that.
He was nearly blind.
He was, he almost blind, yeah. Very interesting character. And there used to be a drag club show here in town called The Famous Door. He took me to The Famous Door. And I was like, whoa, this is interesting. I said, actually, it was incredible. I mean, it was really interesting. So he was a really interesting character. And all of a sudden, things started to really change in my life. And I got this incredible apartment at 16th and Meridian, Piccadilly. And if you're going downtown, it sits right next to the McDonald's. It faces 16th Street. And if you look up, there's a huge penthouse on top. I had gone through a divorce, and I had, I needed a place to live. I mean, ever since I'd come to Indianapolis, I'd noticed this beautiful penthouse. Because when you live in New York, and you look at, and again, I didn't want to leave New York. I was married to an actor at that time, and he had a movie in Hollywood. It's funny how my sons followed through with my life. So we left New York because he was a Broadway actor. He was an original cast of Jesus Christ Superstar. That should have been a clue right there. Played Caiaphas, of that ending that this was going to have. And so that's a chapter in a book too, that relationship. I was the first woman he ever been involved with. I had no idea about gay, what things were, how I met him. It was just a wild story. So anyway, that's how I left. All of a sudden he gets this maybe we're going to California, fine. We stop in Connersville to see my mother. Everybody that was involved in the movie, this is a true story, 2 of the people died. And so he goes, I'm not going back to New York. And I'm like, why not? I think we should go back to New York. No, we're going to Indianapolis. That's how I got here. So growing up, Connersville, 60 miles from Indianapolis, 60 miles from Cincinnati. We always went to Cincinnati mainly. We come here sometimes. And it was just, it's a whole interesting storyline. That's how I got here. So anyway, if you've lived in New York, you really get used to kind of looking up. I'd always noticed this penthouse. So one day, I'd noticed it for a long time. I was living in a place next to Reverend Dudley, and I didn't want to live there anymore. So it took me 10 minutes to figure out how to call to who owned this penthouse, Piccadilly penthouse. John Heron was right next to it. If that's another visual, if you're thinking about that area, the old John Heron sits right there. So I get hold of the people that I think it was Dorfman Realty at that time. Got hold of them, and I go, I'm really interested in the penthouse, and she goes, are you a psychic or something? And I go, well, yes, I am. And she was like stunned. She goes, why would you call me now? She goes, I've got literally 100 people on a waiting list. She goes, the people that have lived up there for 3 years called me 10 minutes ago to say they were no longer going to be in the building. And I've had this over and over in my life. So this is a lesson to everybody. You get an urge, don't get on it. So that's how I got that apartment. It's fabulous. You took it to the top floor. It was built in 1928. You had to have a special key. Your front door into your 30 by 50 living room was the elevator doors. It was Hollywood all over again. It was like being in Hollywood without going there. And there's a floor-to-ceiling, if you're coming from the south window, if you look up, there's a floor-to-ceiling arched window that's spectacular that frames downtown. And has outdoor terraces. I mean, it was $400 a month, friends. Yeah.
Big open fireplace.
Big open fireplace. You were up
Remember the time you
there.
lit it and the cats were all laying around, it goes,
Yes, I do.
they all moved. I never saw cats.
That's right, I forgot about that. Oh, all kinds of
That
wild
was me, yeah.
stuff happened, but yes, all kinds of stuff, wild stuff happened at this, because if you're downtown and you see this, it's the only tall building. It's a real interesting, the owner had built it for himself and his family, so it was this incredible space. So, Bob was really jealous, and I saw him get kind of evil on me. He goes, I want that apartment. I go, well, you don't have it. This apartment, what are you talking? Yeah, and he said, this is a really weird thing. He was obsessed. He wanted to keep coming over, and he goes, well, if you ever move, I want that. He goes, if I die, I'm going to haunt you. That was the haunt. I didn't put that as strong in the story when I wrote it.
Pretty creepy.
It was creepy. It was very creepy. It's very creepy. So.
He would be the type of person to do that.
And he kind of had that side that could be kind of scary. So I was like, ooh. So one day I'm sitting there waiting for the person's coming for the reading, and this had beautiful French doors that led out to this big terrace where they were locked. And it was like I'd be sitting here, they were behind me. I'm waiting for this woman. Doesn't show up. Finally, I'm just thinking, well, I don't know. I'm trying to meditate. All of a sudden, the French doors blow open. And I felt this really angry presence come in. And I thought, oh my God, who is this? What is this? Oh, it was awful. I mean, it was just this weird, creepy feeling. And I could feel, it was like a whirlwind moving through the whole place. So all of a sudden, the woman that I'd been waiting for shows up. And she goes, and this is an important part of the story, her name was Mary Dudley. So she goes, I'm sorry I'm late. She goes, it was so weird. I was around 96 and I-69, and I saw this accident, and some guy got killed. Somebody, I think, got killed. But that's why I'm late. I find out later, my phone starts ringing, that Reverend Dudley was being driven in a car by a woman named Mary. And again, this Mary Dudley had no idea or connection to him, but yet she witnessed and was, and you have to remember, and I was booked up months ahead of time. So for her to have been scheduled right at that time to be a witness to this, and the timing of when he passed was exactly when those doors opened.
Wow.
It was freakier. And I knew at the time, I thought, because my life's always been kind of like that, unusual, but I thought, that's really unusual. Well, fast forward into, that was 1977, 78, whatever. Fast forward into 2013. It's going to, so for 5 years, I go to a woman that does my hair at Flirt Salon, and it's at 69 and 96th Street. I always go the back roads. I never take, I don't go on the north side of 465. It feels dangerous to me from Keystone. I don't, none of it. I always go back roads. But I've never thought of that story in a really strong way, but that's why I didn't go there. And in all the years that Kristen's done my hair, I've never told her the story that I just told you. So Monday, I'm driving over there. From the second I get in my car, it's like the dark forces were after me. I mean, if you could have seen it, you would not believe it. I felt like I really felt like I was going to be in a car accident, because cars kept pulling out in front of me, crossing lanes, even the little back roads. I take Union Chapel to come out over by the mall and then cut through the back of the mall to go to 96th Street. People were doing crazy things. People were actually, and it felt, and there was no wind. I felt like you've been on the highway and you feel like your car's moving because the wind. That's what this felt like. It felt right, like there was this energy. And the freakier thing, the two cars in front of me on Union Chapel, but their cars were doing it too. We were all being almost like blown over to the side of the road. I'm going, okay, this is really scary. This is not just me. I'm seeing two cars in front of me being also, and it's like I couldn't control the car. So Spirit just said, be mindful, pay attention, don't let your mind wander at all, be careful. So the whole way there, I mean, dramatic stuff was going on with people. So I get to the hair appointment, and I was really disturbed by this. And so Kristen said, what's going on? And so I said, well, I got to tell you this weird story. I said, I thought I was going to be killed on the way over here. I had this horrible, and I said, I got to tell you about all the times I've come to see you. I've never told you this. I told her that whole story about Reverend Dudley. And she was like, oh my God. She goes, I hate that intersection. I avoid it. It feels really bad to me too. So she gets done with my hair. I get done about 3:30. We're running a little bit late. I had a 4 o'clock appointment with the Indianapolis Star. Well, in October 31st of 1978, I've got this, I was on the front page of the Indianapolis Star, a very dramatic picture. I'll post this, it's really cool. This long article that was done at the penthouse. It's all this synchronistic stuff. So, I'm racing to get back to, they were doing a thing about the Body, Mind, Spirit Expo, so they're coming to my house first for a couple hours, then going to Sandy Wilcox, because she's the other co-sponsor, to talk to her, so they know what to write about. Get here, all kinds of cool stuff happens, amazing, it was the most amazing session with, the photographer was great, the 2 women that were here were great, I mean, it was like the most phenomenal, things were just, it was neat stuff was going on. So I thought we still had some time, because more information was coming through, and the photographer goes, no, I've got to go now. We've got to go. And I go, oh, I thought we had more time. I said, Sandy's only 20 minutes. He goes, oh, no, there was this horrible accident on 69 near 96th Street. And the traffic is blocked up for miles. And I go, what? And I told them, as much of the story, and then they had to go. I turned the news on that night. The accident was at 4 o'clock. Exactly when and when it opened up this plethora of synchronistic aspects and things, and that's why I shared it, because it's not to I'm so special and I have these experiences. You need to know we are in present time, and it is actualizing, and you will have your own things that are not random. You're going to have your own experiences if you open up and get it and see that everything that's going on is clicking and happening for a reason. But what it did for me, because I'd already had a couple of other things kind of happening where I kind of felt, I didn't really think I was going to die, but it kind of scares you when your life's flashing before you, for months. Because I had other things like that where you just kind of go, okay, wait a minute, this is kind of creepy. Everything is just flashing here, and it's all connecting, and, maybe this is, and then I realized, no, it's just all kinds of stuff from, 37 years ago, come full circle. So look at your own lives right now. You're going to have your own synchronistic stories if you pay attention. Because people are coming in for readings, and I'm having to point it out once they get it. You guys are smart. Look at what's happening, and you'll find all kinds of stuff where when you follow it, that it's right there. It's right, it's so present. And you've talked about coming back, because you used to come to all my stuff, and we were so connected for years. You've talked about coming for a long time, and you came tonight.
It was instantly time, and I got it not 2 hours before I knew I was supposed to be.
Yep, and he's definitely totally from the area. And you had readings, I think, with him.
My card flew off, and I just, this horrible thing was do I knock that off there? There's no grease in here.
Oh, yeah.
I still think I would check to make sure that's upright in case of the fireball stuff.
Well, and I didn't even know till later in our life. My mother was a school teacher in Connorsville, and your sister...
My sister's children, she taught 3 of them.
Oh, wow.
And they're all, the youngest one, who's like 50.
Yeah, and that's when you go, what? I mean, and then you floated in the tanks, I think, didn't you? And you knew my mom, and we used to have the flotation center. It was how we first opened 30 years ago. It was a flotation center.
I think that was one of the most valuable experiences of my life.
I wish, I would love to get, we were the first people in the Midwest to have a flotation, sensory deprivation tanks. And we had big egg-shaped ones, we had 2 of them, and there's Isaac's Coffin Flotation Center, so that's when I was married to Keith, and so And they were phenomenal. I mean, an hour in the tank's equivalent to about 4 or 5 hours of sleep. And so it's body temperature water, it's, 800 pounds of Epsom of these salts, and you just float. It's like being in the womb. And you close the thing, and it's just you feel your body move because you feel the tension being pulled from your body, and it was great, and we did real well with it. And then, the AIDS epidemic broke out, and people were terrified to get, and there's nothing that would live in that much Epsom salts, I was just ahead of my time. Yeah, so I've thought about, I would love to get another, it taught people.
I have the book, if you would like to have it, I have the book still,
Of what?
of the flotation tank.
You're kidding.
No, it's about that thick, and
Can't you do astral projection in those?
Oh, yeah, people take out,
I'll
yeah.
throw a third down on one.
Okay, here we go.
I will make sure you get.
Because Royal Spa is
Because I've
making
always
one,
wanted-
supposedly, he contacted me a few months ago, he's making one. So, yeah, okay.
I will make sure you get this book back.
So it's about the
Yes, it's got the pictures of the eggs.
You're kidding.
No, I thought I got it from you.
You probably did.
I will get it back.
I probably don't have, yeah.
I will get it back to you.
Yeah, we would have people come out and they would go, the funniest one, this businessman, he comes out, he goes, I really enjoyed that film you had in there. What are you talking about? He goes, yeah, didn't you have like a little TV screen in there? And he goes, I was watching this movie. And I'm like, no, that was your own movie.
The hypnagogic tape was the best.
So it's all
Yeah.
dark, right? You can't see anything?
Yeah,
Just
it's
total
dark and
energy,
it's
just like-
egg-shaped, so you don't feel claustrophobic. Some people are still claustrophobic.
Oh, yeah, sure. That's
But
awesome.
and you could listen to things if you wanted to, and there were things that synchronized your heart
Through the water.
through the water.
There was a dim light.
You would have a
couldn't
line
leave
of
out.
people.
Yeah, there's a dim light,
Yeah.
there was a dim light, and it was wonderful. It really was, it was really, really cool. Really cool stuff, so, and then you're from another era, from all my stuff. I love all the, and then you went to school with my son.
Yes, it did.
Really? Yeah?
Had a lot of fun with it.
Oh, Mr. Wild Merlin, you got really wild kids from that, God, well, you're actually from Orchard. Yeah, Orchard and,
Yeah, Orchard, and I used to
And
come here
Orchard.
every weekend.
yeah, hanging out at this house every weekend.
Talking to
bad
Keith and
things.
the
Who knows
shed
what you
back
guys
there,
were doing, exactly.
meditating with him,
Yep.
just teaching me about remote viewing and
Yep.
all that.
Yep, all kinds of eras of things going on here.
This is my friend Andrew, by the way. He's,
Andrew,
yeah, one of the business stuff. Yeah.
it's so good to see people, new people, old people. This kitty's taken, I think this is interesting.
Hey, I'm not a murderer, don't just like.
No, and
I'm
don't
not a
chase-
fat lady either.
Don't chase puppy, exactly. He's the other one. That's Valentino. That's so funny. It's so funny. Does anybody have a question or anything you want to share or talk about or ask? Because we've covered a wide range, and again, the only reason I'm sharing all these stories, you're having your own stories. Because when I was younger, you want to read all these books, the biography of autobiography of a yogi, and you read all these things. Then you realize that no, you are having your own. You're having your own incredible experiences. It's not about somebody else's life or what they're doing. Everybody has their own story. That's why I keep talking about be in your life. It's your life. Don't let people rob you of your joy. And my middle name is Joy. So that was another thing that came out of Experience Monday. And I'm going to start using Marilene Joy that's my given name. Isaac's was my given name. And my mother's name was Joyce. So his name, the Joy came from Joyce. And my mom, if you don't know, Mom just transitioned April 10th. And, which has been very hard and very good. It's probably her that knocked that off because she knew you. She's been very active in here.
That's funny. I know.
I think it was my mom.
It didn't occur to me at first that I thought I had knocked it off, and then I started thinking about it.
Yeah.
I wasn't even close to it.
Valentino. Come on, little baby. This is Valentino. He looks like
Wow.
Papa. The last 3 cats that have manifested in my life are Russian blues. And here's the lady that connected me with the other Russian blue that I got in August. And this guy was saved from a gassing facility in Georgia as a tiny little baby. Somebody rescued it. It took me about a year or 2. No, you 2 blue boys don't fight. You're very jealous of each other.
Mr. Z is
They
here.
butt heads.
They're very jealous.
Mr.
Well,
Z.
yeah, exactly.
Love Mr. Z.
What are you doing? So, no. Uh-oh. Okay, where's your toys? Oh, yeah, and that's a trait of Russian Blues. They're very territorial. They like they're Velcro cats. But the funny thing is, a little girl cat, I brought her over, and I was a little worried, knowing she's a girl and not a boy. She comes in, and she looks at them, and they come up, and she goes, and they laid down, and they started advertising. They started rolling around. It's hilarious. They were just like, ooh, we like her. But she just kept going. But she held her ground, 'cause I've been trying to slowly, don't chase people. Don't. So funny. Anyway, it's a wild time, it's an exciting time, and it's an exhausting time. You're going to find that there's sometimes I feel like I have so much energy, and the next second I'll feel like I just can't move. We're all experiencing this, trust me. It's the extreme. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's all paradoxical. You can't tell if it's, you can't tell what it is because it's all things. And I think that because the way our bodies are built, I think my theory is that the 90% of our brain that they say they don't know what it's about now. It's about higher consciousness. And so we're being activated to come into our fuller consciousness. And so in that I really feel that we do have the divine blueprint imprinted in every cell of our body that overrides the sins of the fathers, the genetic things we're born with in our genes. And so I think that our bodies are going through huge transformations. And so to go through the transformation, sometimes you're going to feel discomfort. You're going to feel amazing things. I've had recently people who were extremely, extremely ill, and some of them their whole lives, who had amazing epiphanies, and they're no longer ill. Because you know why? They got down to the bottom line of what point of origin of why they were ill. And they weren't getting mileage anymore out of being sick. And they realized it, and in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, they were healed. And that's how it works. When you get it, it's not linear at all. When you get it, you're done. And that's why stories in the Bible, stories of all the great healers, it's instantaneous healing. Because if you truly get something and your body gets it, your body can transmute anything. So you really want to pay attention to any type of thing you're very latched into, and think in any kind of suffering. You don't want to stay there. It's icky. Suffering is not good. Yeah.
Can I jump in there without lowering
Sure.
the vibration too much? I was going to see if you could throw some consciousness on it. Well, today I had a wonderful time with the wedding planner with my fiance. We went there and planned the wedding. It was very exciting. We were both excited. And woo, and we leave the wedding planner. Strangely, and we go home to our new house, which we just bought. And I pull up to the driveway, and all of a sudden, and I'm not pointing the finger. I'm just stating the situation. So all of a sudden, Emily's like, I can't. She wanted to paint the closets. It's particle wood. It's cheap. I was like, just leave it. That's how closets are. And she said, no, they're not. I want to paint the closets. I should have respected that, because I know it's a metaphor for her wanting to clean
the closet.
And I didn't respect
And particle
that.
board does outcast and have formaldehydes in it.
Yeah,
So you do want to.
I said to Sanda, she said no, and I said, look, I said, we're on a limited budget. I'd rather not, spend the money to paint particle wood when we can paint other areas that need to be painted. But I didn't respect, and I didn't have the intuition, I didn't follow it to say, okay, I should pay to have Alan come over and paint the particle.
Who was here today painting?
I talked to him on the phone.
That's the toxic paint, which is why we're now in the round.
I told him.
The paint smells are so, synchronistically, he was here,
He
yeah.
said, I'm going to be there
Oh my
later this
God,
evening.
that's so
And he
crazy.
said, yes, I'll come over tomorrow 11:30 and I'll take a look at it. Meanwhile, then Emily, changed her mind. There's just a lot. She's like, you know what, I'm going to paint it, forget it. I'm like, it's too late, sweetie. Alan's coming over, I'm going to pay for it, you don't have to do all that work. I will paint the closets. Bottom line, none of this stuff really matters. It ended up being this like strong, powerful argument about money somehow. It was linked in money, and her saying, well, it's like I want to go out there and make all my money so I have all this freedom, and you kind of get to decide, you know, yada yada yada. And I respect that, you know. And I said, I understand that, sweetie. I said, but you get just about everything you want. I was like, name one thing that I haven't gotten you that you wanted. And that's where and I started getting resentful about the spoiled aspect. So I was like, you're spoiled. And so now we're not speaking, and I'm probably sleeping at my condo.
Okay, well, she came by here. She came by here. Sorry, Emily. Oh my God, she came.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Shit.
Yeah. About 3:30 this afternoon. No, she came by about 3, and I had a very good.
Peach, Emily?
Yes.
I call her Peach. But
Oh my God.
she came by at 3:30.
Or 3:30.
I think our fight.
And Oh my God. Well, this is how this works. Well, we had some very interesting conversations, and it gave me some wonderful insights, because I've supported every relationship. Men have never, they don't give me money. Because I've gone to the extreme, because I've never wanted people to say you can't paint the closet. There you go.
Sort of interesting. So,
Because I love it. I get people all the time that go, oh, did you have a rich husband? No, this is all me. Still paying for it. It's not anything, yeah. No, it was a really interesting conversation. And I felt it's okay to say that, because she was here 15 minutes, we got a lot done, because it was right between some people, and, but that's good.
What they call coming out of the closet.
Yes, coming out of the closet, that's exactly what I thought, coming out of the closet.
I sent her a long text, and I'm going to stay at the condo, I'm going to give you your space, and, you know. So now I condemn myself to sleeping in a dark, creepy
Well, don't
condo.
do that. No, you don't want to be in a dark, okay, this is what you want to do. And again, no, and she came by, I thought that was the punchline, you knew she'd keep
It's very interesting.
No, but this is what's cool for me.
After our fight, I'm assuming.
Because I was raised with my mother saying, don't ever, and she didn't hate, she loved men, I mean, she didn't hate men, she'd be independent. My mother went to college in the 40s, and she was very independent, and blah, 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 yeah. Don't take things from men, make your own money. I took it to the nth degree. Yeah, it was fascinating, because now you realize you have to have a middle road that would be really nice to have reciprocal, or, that'd be really nice, wow. It's a new concept. So it was interesting speaking with her, because she was, in this polarization, and I said, there's a middle road, you don't, and I go, this is not about painting, it's not about the closet, it's not about, it's not, that's just, and that's all of our lives right now, it's not about where it's landing right now, that's just the metaphor, that's just the outer, it goes deeper, and then she went in, it was, I think it's good, I think, I didn't realize you'd gone to the wedding planner today.
Oh, it was a wonderful time. We were so happy. That's
so you went to the wedding planner.
We went from happy to getting screamed about some stupid particle board.
Well, because it activates.
Cheap,
But
Sounds like a diversion there.
Yeah, and it activated because you're actually making the plans.
Yeah, it's scary.
And so then it went to. No, she didn't call you cheap ass, but no.
Well, I do. I mean, it's like there are certain. I don't want to pay
She said she
$3,000 for invitations. I'll go to Kinko's and I'll have it made for $30.
No.
I mean, really?
So where are you getting married?
The art museum.
Oh, the art museum. Oh, it's gonna be a cool.
I was going to ask later if you could officiate.
Oh, absolutely. I would love to officiate.
We'd be honored to.
Good. I would love to officiate.
So your suggestion with Emily and the particle board is to just go home and not mention anything, or
Go home and.
because I don't want to argue.
Yeah, don't
I
argue.
never want
No. And I think it's about when people. It's hard because you met her, she was working, and she went from not working to.
Yeah, she was working very hard.
Right, and so you wanted her to, be helped, but some people see it as taking away their, when it comes away. She's originally from China. She's a beautiful girl. Beautiful,
Funny, anybody
sweet,
who
sweet
can
girl.
afford shoes like that can't afford to paint a closet.
I love it, I love it. And there's your rack is good. There's that closet thing again. Oh my God, this is hilarious. Oh my God. Hey, but you know what's funny? I love this group. Oh my God, this is great. That's born present time.
Boarding, it's just like particle board, really sanded down, like 2 grand.
Or you have to sand it down even, just paint over it. And what, because I'll tell you what it is, if you have a nice, beautiful house like you guys just bought, right?
Yeah.
And she has a lot of clothes.
Yeah, she does.
And so she's looking at the, right, and particle board is, it's kind of icky, and it is made, has formaldehyde.
It's my fault.
And so she didn't know that, but you're sealing it by putting, if you paint it, it's really better.
I said, there's no way in heck that we're doing the particle board. I said, just leave it, sweetheart, and that's when, anyway, I don't want to take up the,
No, but that's interesting, because,
the rage of
When she stopped by, did
110
you
pounds.
tell her?
she just,
She turned into
I don't
a
think
whole...
you should paint that particle board. I think you should do maybe like a cedar.
see, there you go.
Yeah, we can drywall it.
And then she goes, well, Bill's closet's, has that too.
Mine is stained, and I told her the garage too, that's not gonna be touched. But your closet, you can, yeah. She wanted to...
But it was so funny, I didn't know you called Alan.
Yeah, I did, immediately.
Because I sent Alan to begin with too, oh my God.
And Alan said, yeah, the Marilene's and Emily was probably there at the same time,
Yeah.
but ironically. But I told
Oh,
Emily,
my.
she said, Bill, I want to paint the closet. I said, okay, and I'll help you with it too. So anyway, I'm not gonna play the victim about this. Sorry. Because she
No,
really
please.
didn't do anything.
No, but I did not get the piece that you'd been to the wedding planner. Because see, when you do that extreme, because it activates people's stuff about, is this really what I want to do? Well, it becomes more real.
Yeah.
And you just moved, you guys just moved, what, 2 weeks ago? Week
Yeah,
ago?
and she wants some money, and I give her that, but maybe, I don't know.
Right, and she wants her, you need to find a middle road for her to make money, so she feels like she has her own money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sounds
Okay.
like jitters to me.
Yeah, it's intense. All that stuff is the whole role thing of what's this or that, or it's finding middle road. I mean,
Well, she obviously looks up to you a lot. She came over
I
for an
know.
emergency basis.
No, and I was glad because I love you guys. You're like family. So
And I wasn't even mad at her. I just was like, I took it and I said, okay, honey, I understand. I'll give you your space.
You know, I think one of the most interesting terminologies I've ever heard you say in yours was when you said something in the effect of mileage from sickness or illness, that they couldn't get the mileage.
A lot of
I think that's
mileage.
a real interesting
yeah,
aspect.
because when people are getting their mileage, they will keep doing it. They're getting the control and the manipulation. They don't even know sometimes that's what they're doing.
They're disabling.
Yeah, because they want to be disabled.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna change the subject.
Don't go.
The particle board?
Well, you guys over in America can relate to these stories.
You know,
The relationship.
you were talking, explaining, something was stabbing me in my back.
Stabbing.
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 Yeah,
Like-
right here. And then the chair moved
I
like,
believe you, because I felt like we were being left
no,
to...
the honest, twice, and now all of a sudden, what's going on? Like, somebody's been stabbed and I can't...
Or an activation, you're being activated.
Something like I can't
Family.
breathe. Something makes me cough like this.
No, that's really interesting, because I saw,
Emily's been coughing.
I've been seeing, and it's that, but you know what I got when I looked at your energy field? I do feel like your husband, your father's here. I felt him really strong tonight. That's not him doing that, but something's trying to get your attention. He's not stabbing in the
No,
back.
but yeah, I mean, it was like right here.
Poking,
Yeah, poking.
Did it
and I
feel
can't- Yeah,
like sharp or like a...
sharp. Yeah, it's not like no pain, but
Right, well, it's something activating. I think it's an activation. And then it's like that speaking your truth.
I didn't
Oh,
have
there-
anything, right now I can't, I have, this kind of feeling here, like somebody's lungs are filled.
Filling with what? That's really strange, because
That could be me.
that could be you, that could be a lot of people, because there's a lot of lung stuff right
Emily's
now.
been coughing these nervous coughs, it seems like, and, I don't know.
Were you at the hospital working?
Well, yeah, I've worked
Well,
with.
she's a nurse, she works with patients. I think this is something you brought, I think it's something you took on.
Uh-huh.
It's gotta go, it's an attachment. Yes, she's a healer, but you have to, okay, you have to find, let's get you over light.
Alpha.
No more attachment. You're so empathic, I think, when you're when you're working with your patients, you took something on.
Well, I worked with heart transplants.
The heart transplants, very serious stuff. It's real serious. Have you had anybody that passed over recently, like in work?
No, but I have
You had a death?
2 people like within days, both of their mothers, my sales manager and someone else on my team.
Because it's connected, okay. You're taking something on it, you got weakened from something at the hospital.
Yeah.
Wow. Lean forward just when it was right in here.
Right
Yeah,
here,
okay.
right here.
Its whole resentment, its whole grief. You ready to let it go? You ready for a new life? And it probably activated you when you had 2 people around you whose mothers died. Because your father's already passed, and now you're not going to pass, but I'm saying, whatever it says, it's unclear, do you know what I'm saying? Because that's what it will do. I mean, that's unusual, but,
It was just weird because
Oh,
it was like
yeah.
end of the month, so everything was crazy with the sales and.
Was somebody in an emergency room bed when they went?
Wait, what's that?
Was somebody in an emergency room bed when they went? One of your people?
I don't know. I didn't ask details.
wow.
I didn't ask details. I just know.
Now you get provided.
Yeah,
Because that's
it
what
was a person on my team. Her mother passed, and literally 2 days later,
Because
was my
I kind
sales
of felt
manager.
bad.
Probably.
Yeah, it just.
You took on something from working, heart transplant's very serious business.
Yes,
I actually had a
they go
question.
through, oh,
Yeah, you're gonna be good, we got the attachment going.
I might have been in a trance or something, but did you say something about adoption?
Parents.
Or parents or something like that? What exactly did you say?
Oh, that's interesting. I was talking about birth parents, about disconnecting from parental, disconnecting, sometimes our real family, we find our spiritual family. And I was talking about becoming your own mother, father from inside of yourself to yourself. And I've talked about this before, but you might have been hearing, when people are adopted, you actually have 2 sets of things to deal with. And adoption's an interesting thing because you have